Yeah, let's go. Freddy Fast and Big Horror. Alrighty. Alright. Hey, where is it? Oh, yeah, that's the one. There you go. Found it. Let's go. I found the. Alrighty. Here it is. The expansion of the Rewritten. We're gonna start at the minute mark. We're almost at the minute mark. Let's go. And boom. We're gonna start. Let's do this. So please note this is an expansion for Rewritten, and it's still going to be canon to the Rewritten story. Just that this is in Abby's perspective. Everything that she does, the story of Rewritten moves along. So this is in Abby's perspective. Chapter 1, Episode Abby. Dreams don't stay dreams forever. That's what Abby has been told after being taken by her aunt. It felt like her dreams were crushed. She is now in the car, not wanting to talk, as Aunt Jane, with a bloodied up nose, still with a smug grin, laughs. Huh, I won. I knew your brother was too stupid to be able to handle you. Abby puts her hoodie over her head, not wanting to hear more of her stupid aunt's words. God, you're so annoying. Jane wants to stop and snap, but she knows she needs to keep her cool as she wipes the windshield and gets her smug face back on. You know, even with this blood up nose, I still won. Abby really wants to say another swear, but she does not want to waste her voice on Jane. It's not worth it. Not for her. So her hands, like earlier, behind, has a middle finger gesture. Meanwhile, Jane spots Sparky's as she leaves and locks the door, not letting Abby leave. Hey, aren't you going to let me out to eat? Jane's smug attitude reveals something. Nope, I saw you that you flipped the bird. You think I didn't saw that? Nope, I'm not gonna let you leave for food. So long, toodles. Jane, being the snarky little meanie that she is, seems Jane had a face and eyes on two sides. A shocker she's still able to see even with the old and wrinkly mode that she is. Abby sits in the back with a frown as Jane enters Sparky's, but other people enter as well. Who are those people? Abby replies. Abby isn't much of a nosy person, but she is curious, and like Curious George, she's too curious for her own good. The people are in hoodies covering themselves. Abby's unable to see who they are as she wipes the dust off the car. She's too short to see the window, though, sadly, the window is too high as well, so Abby waits it out and thinks of a way to get up to the window. She spots a couple of books. Perhaps that could help. Meanwhile, Jane is sitting down eating some food. It's not the best food, but some type of food. Sparky's is going out of business soon since the owner barely took care of the place and only a few people wanted to work here. Man, they really burned my toast. How the hell do you burn toast like this? Examining the toast, she drops it to spot Max and Jeff in front of her. Finally, what took you loser so long? Jeff was taking a long time fixing his motorcycle, and I did not want to be here, so yeah, shit's crazy. Jane groans easily, annoyed as she could care less of what the two were doing in life. Look, I don't care about what you two do in your lives. Just tell me if you found any info about how to make sure my son stays ruined forever. From what I heard, the government told me he's trying to get Abby back. I have to make sure that doesn't happen. Jeff rolls his eyes as he sits next in the chair, bumping into Doug. Oh shit, sorry man, I did not see you there. Doug was not talking the whole time. He was too scarred from being in his seat the entire time, and at the same time, Jane was being so much of an asshole she did not want to give him food and scream multiple times in his face. He was dragged there once again, even though he quit, but Jane forced him against his will. Is that guy okay? Jane laughs, clearly not giving two cares about Doug's feelings. Oh yeah, he's fine. He loves it here, don't you, Doug? Look, I quit for some reason. She dragged me in here with her. Doug isn't able to finish his sentence when all of a sudden some beat music is heard in the distance. Do y'all hear some type of beat music? A waiter with a grin and a slim figure arrives with menus. He seems to be quite in the cherry mood today, unlike Jane herself. Hey, welcome to Sparky's. What can I get you off for today? Doug is happy. He might get breakfast or lunch. It depends. As he smiles, Jane smacks the grin and the menu off the tables. We will not be eating today, thank you very much. The smile has now been wiped off Doug's face. Well, there goes lunch. You do realize that lunch is the most important meal of the day. Crickets chirp in the distance as Jeff speaks in, but not for a long time. I thought it was breakfast. The waiter laughs as he cuts Jeff off. Max and Jeff watch the whole shenanigans happen as they wait for their turn to speak. Some people say that, but it's just a theory. The man pulls out of nowhere a chart, and it seems to be the history of food. Oh God, we're gonna be here for a while, aren't we? Jane is quite a chatter, so this is going to take a while for her to make the man stop talking. We cut back to Abby in the car as she is tapping her foot. She is tired, as Jane was in the diner for a long time. Man, I'm hungry. When is she going to come back? Abby decides to open the door, and out of nowhere, the door opens itself. Wow, a miracle. Lucky me. That's what she thinks. Abby leaves the car as she looks around the area, not seeing anything. She runs up to the diner door and opening it. Instead of entering the diner, she arrives somewhere else. Her eyes flash to witness a white rabbit laughing in her face in the dark. As she walks up to the white rabbit, she tries to talk to it. Who are you? The white rabbit does not respond and tilts its head and, swinging the knife in the air, dashes at Abby. She yells and awakens back in the car. Seems she never left the car. What just happened? I swear I just saw a white rabbit. She turns to see the two figures in motorcycles leaving the area as Aunt Jane enters the car, closing the car all aggressive like, do I have to do everything myself? Abby wonders why Jane was taking so long, as she did not see Jane in the window for the past hour. Jane looks up to see a cop whistling, a blond and slim figure throwing the keys around, a sharp one. All right, Square, let's get out of here. I have business to attend to. The car drives off as Abby watches the officer staring at the two. The officer's eyes look all sinister as her eyes look reddish. Jane slams the horn as she yells at Abby to stop being noisy. Abby, stop being a prick. Abby sits to the side as Jane moves a rabbit figure dangling on the window. Abby leans in to see the figure. I like the rabbit. Can I have it? Jane laughs as she answers no. It belonged to one of her family members who went missing back in 1985. Look, I had a brother back in 1985. He was such a nerd. He liked chatting and. Wait, why should you know my life story? Abby was getting curious with the story. She never knew Jane had a brother. Jane parks her car next to Mike's house. Now that it's no longer his, now Jane decides it's hers. Looky here, mine. This house is all mine. Abby really wishes Mike was here to give Jane another punch in the face as Jane makes herself at home and sits on the couch and watches TV. As Abby asks for food, as she knows there is no food in the house. Hey Jane, can I have some food, please? Jane laughs, dropping and crushing beer bottles while coughing the cigarette smokes on Abby's face. Oh God, did you really have to put smoke on my face? Jane puffs her cigarettes on her before it's her habit, as she knows she will not feed her as Jane turns on the TV and spots the show Fredbear and Friends. Ugh, cartoons. She flips the channels as Abby stands there offended as she runs up and closes the door shut. Jane puts up on her seat and watches the TV. It's some sort of soap opera. The show she watches is called The Immortal and the Restless. It was one of those novellas old people watch. Of course, Jane is the type who will watch that. Another day, another dramatic entry in the lives of Vlad and his dismissed mistress. Jane yells at the TV while she eats her bowl of exotic butters and ice cream, covering herself in her blanket. Clara, I told you the baby isn't mine. Count, I tell you that it is. You're the only vampire I ever loved. And the baby turns his bottle into powdered milk. Jane, full of beer and ice cream, responds all depressed. That's a mood, Clara. As she continues to drink, she doesn't realize in the back a golden bear walk up to her, and it cuts to Abby in her room as Abby drops her coloring books as a scream is heard and snapping crunchy noise could be heard. Abby puts her jacket on, grabs her bag and dolphin to check on the noise. Ugh, perhaps she got drunk again, the usual. This time, it wasn't what Abby expected. As she goes downstairs and see one of her friends, she's frozen but surprised. Wait, You're the one in my drawing, the girl I saw. Abby leans to see a yellow bear, all dirty and rotten. That must be Freddy? How does she know? That does Abby have history with these things? She never met them before. Not Freddy. The ghost girl walks up to Abby, taking her hand by force as Abby asks where the two are going. The ghost girl with a wicked smile says nothing as she tells Abby to pack her stuff for the journey. A magical world of fun. You're gonna love it. Follow me. Abby, while packing her stuff, spots something strange. It's Jane's foot in what seems to be a puddle of red. Is she? Cassidy laughs as she tells Abby that Jane is just sleeping. Silly Jane. She fell asleep. Truth was that Jane was not sleeping. As Abby leaves the door, Cassidy looks to lean at the body of Jane. As it shows, Jane's neck ripped open, spitting out the blood as Cassidy laughs. There. Now you won't hurt her anymore. Cassidy, I found a taxi. It's time to go. Cassidy leans back to get ready as she runs to the door and closes it. She returns to her golden Freddy state and smiles. Okay, ready to go. Abby nods as she opens the taxi cab. Okay, young lady, where to? It's been a long day for me, and yeah, I just want to go home. Abby speaks with Golden Freddy as the driver looks confused. Who is she talking to? Seems Abby's friend could only be seen by her, as the driver thinks she's crazy. Abby turns around and tells the driver where she wants to go. My friend wants to go to this place called. She gets lost for a moment as Cassidy whispers in her ear. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Abby nods. It's a place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Should it be far? The taxi driver wonders if he instead should take this girl to a mental asylum. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna. Cassidy controls his car as the car begins to move on its own, as the driver is screaming for his life. Oh god, what's going on with my car? Cassidy laughs as Abby looks worried, but just sits there waiting to see what happens next. The moment cuts to the car almost burning its tires as it stops in front of the pizzeria as the driver looks all scared with a panic. Abby wakes up Cassidy as Cassidy tags her to tell her that they have arrived to the location. Oh, look, we arrived. She leaves the taxi car as she gives the taxi driver a sticker. Turns out she had no money. No money? Whatever. I like stickers. The driver drives off as Abby waves goodbye. Bye, Mr. Taxi Man. Cassidy looks up to the pizzeria as the brown bear looks down at her and Abby. Is that your friend? Cassidy smiles as she looks into the door and says, they are all my friends, and so are you. She reaches out her hand as Abby takes it. So, is this like your home? Cassidy falls into tears, almost breaking down. Yeah, I guess you can call it that. Abby could tell that Cassidy looks sad and isn't feeling well. Hey, you okay? Cassidy for a moment doesn't respond as she sits in the side seat of Freddys as it begins to rain. You wouldn't understand. Abby walks up to her sitting next to her. Perhaps I will. Cassidy hears some chaos going on in the pizzeria. Seems they are going at it again. She needs to remove Abby from the whole massacre parade. What's going on in there? Nothing. It's nothing. Hey, can we talk for a moment? Cassidy takes Abby to the back of the pizzeria as she leans to see the skull of one of the robbers who were breaking in. That was a close one. Chapter 2. Can we talk? Cassidy drops some pebbles into the ground as Abby looks Cassidy in the eyes. You know, when we first met, you understood me. You were nice to me. Back in the dream world? Cassidy removes her tears as she chuckles for a while. Well, yeah, you seem to be nicer than the others, and actually a talker. The others are not so nice and are not like themselves. Abby wonders what Cassidy means by Cassidy's friends being not like themselves. What do you mean your friends are not like themselves? Cassidy sighs as she turns around looking at the stage in the window. Well, you see, they don't remember their true selves. I seem to be the only one in control of myself, but not them. Not anymore. Abby turns and stands to lean at the side window, barely able to say anything. Hmm, okay, I got an idea. Cassidy looks up at Abby. She knows what Abby's thinking right now. As Abby picks Cassidy right up, brushing the dirt off her dress. Cassie, look, I'm gonna help you with your friends no matter what happens. Cassidy smiles. She never thought anyone would want to help someone like her. Thank you, Abby. Abby gives a thumbs up as she thinks of a way of how to enter the pizzeria. Now, how are we going to. Cassidy so enters the pizzeria and opens the doors up. Oh, it was that simple. Abby smiles as Cassidy laughs and lets Abby through the door as she closes the doors of Freddy's. It's all broken down as there is glass in the floor and the arcades are broken. The outside of Freddy's are full of thunder and rain, as it could be heard from outside as Cassidy vanishes from the area. Abby is walking around as she watches the storm pass through. What happened here? It's been abandoned for years, it seems. Abby leans to the window, hearing the storm get louder. Jeez, it's a storm out there, Cassidy. Cassidy? She looks around and it seems that the ghost girl is gone, or perhaps she got lost. Cassidy, Cassidy, where are you? Abby ponders for a bit of where her friend could be as she hears a noise from the parts and service room. Perhaps she got stuck in that room? She walks up to the room, leaning her hand to open it. As she opens it, she sees a rabbit drawing just in the front. A lot of drawings, not just the white rabbit drawing. This must be the art room. Abby doesn't realize behind her that a white rabbit figure is about to slice her. As she hears it well, she turns around and dodges the attack. The slice only slices a bit of her long hair. Abby looks at her hair fall as the rabbit with the red eyes look at the hair too. She looks to the white rabbit swiping the knife with red eyes and chases Abby through the halls. Abby makes a run throughout Freddy's as she yells for help. Cassidy, Cassidy! Abby wonders what the worst. Did this white rabbit kill her friend? Abby quickly takes a turn as she sees the kitchen and drops an entire shelves on the rabbit. Abby turns around to lean in the shelves, hoping that did the job. The light flickers and flickers as Abby takes a deep breath in fear as a hand grabs her shoulder. She turns around to try and punch the figure. As she falls to the floor, she looks up to see Cassidy. Hey, you good? It's okay. What happened? What happened? Abby looks around the area as the white rabbit figure is gone. She gets back up in fear and stresses out. Oh, Cassidy, thank goodness you're okay. Did you see the white rabbit around here? Cassidy is confused as she is the only one in the building in animatronics. White rabbit? Perhaps Abby is just stressed and going through a lot. Cassidy gets an idea to help Abby's stress problems. Hey, I got an idea to make you feel better. Follow me. Abby's still looking around the area. She's still on the lookout. Perhaps it's just her being crazy. So she follows Cassidy to the other room. Cassidy makes Abby feel safe since she is her best friend and trusts her all the way. Chapter 3, Building a Fort and Making Some Memories. Continuing down the halls of Freddy's, skipping around and snapping her fingers, Cassidy seems to be enjoying herself with the music and the speakers. She likes the tunes and the speakers. Abby seems to differ. She seems uncomfortable in the area. What's wrong, Bestie? Don't you like it here? Cassidy pulls a smile and trying to make Abby feel better, as it kind of works as Abby chuckles for a bit. Abby moves the spider web as she tries not to look like she isn't having fun with her new friend. She knows she needs to be back home soon, or who knows what might think happen to her if she isn't home. No, no, it's fine. It's just my brother. He can be quite the kind to worry a lot. He gets quite panic mode when I'm not around. Cassidy knows whose Abby's brother is. They met before, but she pretends she doesn't recognize Mike. What's a brother? The moment stops as they both stop walking, as they look at each other, as Cassidy looks dumbfounded. Abby raises an eyebrow, thinking Cassidy is joking. I'm sorry, what? Abby really thinks Cassidy is joking, but by the looks of it, it seems she isn't. Oh god, you're not joking, are you? Cassidy gives a no nod, confirming it's not a joke. I never had a family. Ever. I never got to have one before. Abby sighs as she apologizes for looking a bit smug as she explains everything about her brother. Mike as well. Let's just say he's an amazing brother. He always stood up for me and always liked my drawings. He always goofed around and really was nice to me. He always cared until Abby begins to cry and break down to the floor as she punches the wall next to her scratch. She rips out a small drawing she had in her arms. Cassidy leans in to grab the drawings, trying to examine it. What's this? Abby grabs a piece of drawings as she explains the whole situation. You ever made a promise, Cassidy? Cassidy tilts her head and peers in front of Abby. What's a promise? It's when you tell someone you'll be there for them no matter what, and it's meant with their heart and soul. Well, my brother said that once, and Abby, Abby throws the drawings on the floor as she yells from the top of her lungs, scattering them. He gave me away! Cassidy drops a tear as she feels Abby's pain. Hey, hey, don't cry. It's all going to be okay. Hey, when it's all over, I promise I will never leave your side. Abby turns to Cassidy as Cassidy pulls out a pinky promise. You can't break a pinky promise. Promise? A new friend who could be trusted for Abby. She stands up as she hugs the soul as Cassidy feels heart. Is this what it feels like when people actually care for you? Abby lets Cassidy go as she asks for where they were heading through the halls. Oh, right. There was something fun I was going to show you. We're almost there. Let me just cover your eyes. Abby shrugs and lets the ghost girl cover her eyes. She likes surprises. And do not open them until I say open, okay? Abby nods. Okay, bestie. Cassidy brings Abby to a room and tells Abby to open them. As Abby jumps up and down for an excitement, she begins to fangirl out as she sees them. Whoa, this is cool. No way you didn't. She runs up to the animatronics to look up close at them. This must be the gang. It's so cool to look at them close. Look at them, Cassidy. Cassidy goes up closer to them as they look down at her. Their faces and eyes squint with anger. Guess they're not fans. Cassidy waves, but it's clear the animatronic animals don't take kind to Cassidy. Abby could tell, did she do something to them or what? Cassidy, why are they being so mean to you? Cassidy hits the dusty ground, too shy to respond. As she looks up to spot blankets and chairs, that gives her an idea to change the mood. You know what? What's with all this negativity, fellas? How about we do something fun? Cassidy points toward the chairs and blankets in the distance. You want to build a fort? Cassidy wanted to have a sleepover, but fort sounds fun, so she turns to see what the others say. The animatronics with blank expressions close their eyes, confused, but change their mood. Cassidy chuckles for a moment with sweat in her head. Oh, thank heavens. Guess that's a yes. All right, everyone, follow the leader. They all begin their fort fun as Bonnie is the one who has the most trouble, falling to the floor multiple times. Chica isn't sure what she's doing as Freddy goofs around with random chairs, dropping them to the floor. Foxy grabs a blanket and wraps him on the floor. Seems he knows what he's doing. Good thing Abby is here to lead the animatronic, seems. It seems like she is the adult in this context, since Cassidy is also clueless in this situation. Takes them a while to build the fort, since for some possible reason Foxy's hand on fire. Thankfully, Abby had a bottle of water in her bag, and the fire wasn't that tragic. Poor Foxy, though. Although earlier on, this was caused by Bonnie giving Abby a piggyback ride and bumping into Foxy, and Foxy bumping into a light bulb and overheating. So it's either Abby's, Foxy, or Bonnie's fault. The group just decides to blame Bonnie and move on, as Bonnie on the floor gives out a thumbs up. Cassidy and Abby and the others are now on the ground in their little fort, as Abby looks into the sky, having the time of her life. It's nice in here so far. Cassidy has her head next to Abby as she as well feels the same way. Abby, I have a question about something. Abby gets up and helps Cassidy back up. Sure, you can tell me anything you need. You know how friends don't hide secrets, right? Abby isn't much of hiding secrets from anyone. She likes knowing it all. Well, that's not always true. Most friends tell them everything. But if there's a secret you have that's so brooding, I won't judge. Cassidy's mind goes dark as her eyes go blind for a second. She begins to hear voices in her head, but Abby can't hear them. Cassidy, are you okay? Abby tries to reach for her friends, but Cassidy refuses. She seems scared. Abby, can you give me a minute? Abby nods as Cassidy runs off to the bathroom looking at the mirror. She puts water in her face, but it's clear it goes through as she panics and sees things. It's them. So, are you gonna tell her? Cassidy jumps out and scared as she turns to see the others. You can't hide the truth forever. Look, y'all, perhaps we chose the wrong one. Abby's a nice person, and she means no harm. Let her leave and no. Either you go with the plan or we will. Cassidy tries to stand up, but she knows she can't. As she turns to see Jeremy walk up to her. I'm sorry, Cassidy, but the plan was if she becomes one of us, there's a possibility she can give us what we need. Cassidy closes her eyes as she really doesn't want to harm her new friend, but doesn't have a choice. Look, you are all being controlled, but I have no way of knowing what is controlling you all. All of a sudden, Cassidy's so called friends are gone as she looks up to see the writing in the walls. The plan starts in an hour. Oh, Abby, what am I gonna do? Chapter 4. A bond broken between two once known friends. Okay, we're almost done. Let's do this. Cassidy prepares as her time is almost up. As last time, she recently left Abby at home. She takes a look at her drawing. She was given a heart with her and Abby. Best friends forever. She puts it in her pocket. She begins to cry. It's for the best, kid. You were never the right person for her. As Cassidy turns around to see her in the distance, the one behind it all. You said she won't be killed and be one of us, right? The white rabbit nods, swiping her knife. Just bring her to me, then we'll talk. Cassidy looks miserable but nods as she leaves the pizzeria and heads towards to Abby's home. But it's been days since she's seen Abby, and she no longer lives with Jane. Now she's back with Mike. Meanwhile, Mike's in the couch sleeping as he's left the TV on. He's got exotic butters in the floor and the Dream Theory book on the side. The TV was playing a movie he and Abby were watching earlier. For some reason, Abby really enjoys her horror films. Mike slept during the whole thing since a guy in a mask holding a knife and killing teenagers didn't really catch his interest. Plus, he already knew the killer and just wanted Abby to find out herself. Meanwhile, Abby is in her room drawing, as she looks happy and chill for now. She hears a knock at her window, almost thinking it's a bad person or monster trying to break in. She grabs a toy bat to arm herself. It's like a weapon, but not really. I'll break your bones if you go near me. Don't make me. I broke things with this. Abby pulls out the curtain to see Cassidy. Girl, I'm quite sure you won't do anything with my bones. Abby falls to the floor with a panic attack as she drops her bat, almost making a loud sound. Lucky for her, Mike is a deep sleeper. Cassidy pulls out the window and enters the room, making herself at home. Nice place you got here. Abby's confused on why Cassidy's here. Cassidy, what are you doing here? Cassidy has a Lunchable in her mouth as she keeps munching on it. How long have you had this in your room? Abby tells Cassidy the food she's been eating is expired as Cassidy spits it out. Oh yeah, I'm here. Well, you see, I need your help with Freddys. It's not going well. Abby looks into the other room to see Mike is sleeping still. Seems the movie or the exotic butters really put him into a deep sleep. Okay, look, Mike is a deep sleeper, so we have to be quick. You can't stay here. Cassidy opens the window and grabs Abby to take her to the pizzeria. Okay, I got an idea for how we're going to get back to over there. Remember the taxi? Abby nods. The taxi was so much fun. Hopefully she can go again. Unfortunately, the taxis were on their off days, so Abby and Cassidy go walking in the fields together. Shouldn't take long, right? They walk for hours and hours in, tired as the rain begins again. We have no map. It's raining. Where's Freddys, Cassidy? Now I know why we need a taxi. The road around them is crowding. Poor souls. Abby tries to call Max. Perhaps she can take them. Abby's phone service is terrible out here, but still is able to use her phone to call Max. Come on, no, why are you not answering? Wonder why, Cassidy ponders. Abby tries to call Mike, but her phone runs out of power. Great, no power. Now what? Before Abby and Cassidy could go into their next move, light shines on Abby and Cassidy as speakers yell from the skies. We have you surrounded. Lost child in the area. Reported. That must be you. Abby does not want to go back yet as she needs to help her friends. Okay, Abby, act dumb. You got this. You saw this on TV once. What lost child? Abby's mind is not thinking right now as Cassidy pulls a chuckle. Not that dumb. The two quickly run into the forest and trees, losing the helicopter's tracks. Over there, we should find her over there. In the front, we see Cassidy running in the forest, twirling her hair around. As she turns to give Abby a peace sign, she looks up to the helicopter. She gives out a smug and a thumbs up. Okay. Watch what I can do. Let's have some fun. Cassidy takes control of the helicopter to mess with it like she did with the taxi. Hey, what's going on here? The controls aren't responding. Golden Freddy pops up and crushes the officer's head in half as Cassidy blows up the helicopter and throws the vehicle into the police station. Cassidy giggles as she seems to be enjoying herself. That was totally wicked. Abby is shocked looking at the chaos happening. Cassidy turns around to see Abby in awe. Hey, what's going on, kid? You doing okay? Look, I know the whole massacre is insane, but I had to do what I had to do because, world's crazy. We had to get going. Abby tilts her head around. She seems to be finding out more about Cassidy. You're a ghost with powers. Cassidy is shocked that Abby could see her the whole entire time. Wait a minute. You can see me? Oh, dear, that's mean you saw me tripping on the floor. Oh, man, that's lame. Abby's surprised and excitement. She always wanted a superpowered ghost for a friend. Okay, we have no time. Yeah, I'm cool, but we need to go. Okay, let's go help our friends. Cassidy smiles and floats in the air. Yeah, friends. Abby runs off into the fields as Cassidy watches and worried. Come on, Cassidy, let's go. Yeah, go. Cassidy isn't sure yet of herself. As Abby barely met Cassidy, can she trust her? There's no time for that. So far, she's been trustworthy for days. She never broke a promise. Hey, I think we're getting closer to the pizzeria. Cassidy smiles as she grabs a mat from the floor. She looks up and knows what she's doing feels wrong. Minutes later, as they arrive to the pizzeria, we made it, friend. This is it. Abby looks up, seeing the sign. The brown bear shiny looks like golden Freddy. Okay, let's. Abby tries reaching out to Cassidy. The ghost girl is gone, nowhere to be seen. Where did you go? Cassidy! Bestie, are you lost? The door of Freddy's open up, luring Abby in. She doesn't know the danger she is getting herself into. Abby walks in, feeling uneasy as the lights begin to flicker. Hello? Anyone here? The animatronics begin singing as the lights shine in Abby's eyes. The song is so upbeat, it gives Abby some sort of hope. As she bops her head around, distracted, Abby smiles as she likes these goofy things. A noise is heard in the parts and service area, scaring Abby, stopping her fun as the music stops along with it. Abby heads to check it out. Perhaps Cassidy's hiding in there. She makes it to see a rusty up door covered in red. Do not enter. Huh, maybe I should open this one up? Perhaps you should. Abby backs up from the distance as the white rabbit closes the door. Who are you? What are you? What did you do with Cassidy? How about you tell her yourself? The white rabbit swings the knife around to reveal a crying Cassidy holding onto the drawing. Abby, I'm so sorry for what's going to happen to you. Thanks to your friend Cassidy, she brought you to me. Cassidy? You did this? You? Cassidy's eyes are full of tears. All Abby's eyes are full of are betrayal. The white rabbit summons the animatronics to force Abby into the suit. Now, kill away. Cassidy heard kill. This wasn't part of the plan. Wait, you said you weren't going to kill her. We talked about this. Abby looks at Cassidy in betrayal. You planned this out? Cassidy's words have stopped as she looks at Abby in tears. Abby, please understand. I didn't know this was gonna happen. The white rabbit laughs in Cassidy's face. We? There is no we. There's only one. I never needed you now or ever. Cassidy was being used. She was lied to. They were all being lied to. Cassidy grasps her arm as she turns around, but leaves as she runs for it. She thinks about what she was doing is wrong, but doesn't think about it. Forgive me, Abby. Cassidy? No! The animatronics grab Abby as she yells in tears and betrayal. Let me go, put me down. Abby could feel her life draining as the metal knives are getting nearer. She closes her eyes as her fate gets near. In the speakers and drawings everywhere, the animatronics hear a voice and let Abby go. Enough! Look, she's the real monster. Abby brushes herself off in panic and runs to the entrance, but stops to see the white rabbit trying to escape as well. The white rabbit tries to open the doors of Freddy's to leave, but can't. Why won't it open? The white rabbit turns to see the animatronics in front of her, all with anger in their eyes. White blank eyes. Hey, friends, can y'all help me leave from this place? The animatronics just stared dead at the white rabbit's eyes, with fury in their eyes. Hello, I'm talking with you. The animatronics charge at the white rabbit as the white rabbit screams. Hey, what are you doing? Screams are heard. Stop, no, wait. The robots are heard ripping the rabbit to shreds as guts and bones are being crunched. Meanwhile, Cassidy, who attempted to escape earlier, sees a scar Abby hiding, watching the massacre. The least she can do is help her leave after what she just did. Cassidy teleports Abby out of the pizzeria while the animatronics are doing their own thing with the white rabbit. Wow, they are eating part of her bones. They're truly going at it. Why did you break my promise? Hmm? Cassidy pretends to not know what Abby is saying, but she knows exactly what she did. You betrayed me. All the memories we made were all in spite. You left me alone with them. You. Cassidy tries to think of something to make things right, but nothing comes to mind. Look, the rabbit tricked us, too. I wasn't aware. You have to believe me. Are you sure? Cassidy is lying. She is the only one in control, while the others aren't. She knew everything. You left me. You crushed my promise, my soul. I'm so sorry. Look, we can still be friends, right? Abby stands frozen with Cassidy as she looks at Cassidy trying to give her a hand. She refuses. It's clear we weren't meant to be friends. I'm sorry. It begins to rain as Abby pulls an umbrella and leaves Cassidy in the rain. The friend she thought she had has become her betraying enemy. Perhaps it was never meant to be. As poor Cassidy is left alone in the rain, crying as she regrets the choices she made and the drawing she once had, it flies away and rips, separated apart. The end, for now. Chapter 5. Post credits. A yellow figure spots the white rabbit mask looking at the bloody up bones of the remains of the body. The figure speaks up in a wicked soft tone. No, you still have some use for me, Vanny. The white rabbit mask lights up red, revealing that the rabbit's story isn't over yet, and that it only has just begun. The white rabbit will return, and the identity will be revealed in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Rewritten. It is not who you think it is. Vanny is the name of the mask. You will learn more on December 25th, 2025. The end. And that is the DLC for Five Nights at Freddy's Rewritten. Hello, stay safe. Goodbye.